One of the key difficulties of theology is when it seems to disempower God, at least if the conclusions were right. The point of Islam is to bring people in line with a theory of divinity as utterly transcendent, and which is known through qualities that benefits the creation. Science indicates that belief in God is inborn, and so that alone is why almost everybody openly admits to believing in God. Now, a lot of people are deists, are liberals, or some other thing where that is not as important in their opinion. The temporal lobe focus on theology has brought stability to society. But one of the things that happened over time is humanity started to deify the phenomena, the objects or animals or beings that personified certain extraordinary qualities. We need to go beyond this in a discovery that connects us to the other forces of nature. We are not to deny or resist nature, but work with it. We don't necessarily deny that the things that people have false beliefs about are real things. Certainly, no matter how objectively true something is, there is a truth to some of these Eastern ideas about illusion and delusion being the approach to creation. These forms, they teach us lessons. And as far as sent ones, we're not under any confusion that those officially sent were the prophets. In Arabic, the term is Rasulullah. Some bring out a text, as it would be called if it got into writing. And those were the Anbiya, the exemplar prophets. And of course, they were able to live and explain what they came with. Ideas of heroes and saving examples shows us that on some level, these are things that we can do in our own lives. The details of our beliefs and actions, they make a difference in this life and the afterlife. We are to be individuals that build up our consciousness. Christianity required a Greek understanding to come about, and Mithraism in various forms, and not by that term, but certainly intercessory heroes that you prayed to or through. That idea happened again and again, but it tended to be part of a system rather than just one individual Christianity made it one individual. And the height that the Greek exalted philosophy to, that idea of the Word became in that sense too. Of course, to the Gnostics, far below would have been the Word or Holy Ghost, and the Father would have been Abraxas, and the Son would have been Aperamento, to use their terms. One of the ways that people get into Christianity is through this idea of that we were all just so bad that we could not be redeemed in any way, shape, or form except through such an event as the crucifixion. But the Bible itself, through what it says about Jesus and through what it says about the atonement, aside from the Pauline writings, kind of shows there's another way. We don't limit deity to space. So what we are becoming is not what we are referencing when we speak of God. So therefore, any faction of God becoming, it doesn't make sense. Now, certainly, certain qualities are manifested in different ways in the universe at different times, and perhaps certain aspects are known here and there, but the divine essence is completely unchanged. So in Islam, we don't have this monolarity idea. And we don't limit these qualities. So therefore, anything that embodies these qualities is not it. We can be reminded of God through things, but deity isn't so trapped, you could say. And the presencing, well, it's other beings that become present. Our awareness may come upon us of this, that, and the other. But the presencing of spiritual beings is not the same thing as divinity. Whether references to Purusha or Tiamat or some other term, deity didn't break into sparks or break into parts, and the different parts of the earth were, the remains, or the children, or any of that other stuff. Symbolically, we can look at some of this stuff, but again, myths trying to be true, they can be true. Mythology can be true, so you don't have to accept the non-literal mythology. We look at the things that humanity can do with substance, and then we think of the creation, and even science telling you that time, space, and matter seems like they were created, that certain other things came into being. So how can we attribute gender and any of this other stuff that's not as limited, that's a lot more limited than the creation? How can we attribute that to the Creator, right? At most, the Bible has Jesus quote God. And if you read the Quran, you get a lot of other scriptures differently when you realize, wait, this person was quoting Revelation. So it gives, it means something totally different than when he says, I am God, worship me, and that sort of thing. Did Jesus ever say that? No. The closest you can say that the Bible has Jesus say is that we are all, or we could all be like, I forget the exact quotes, but you know what I mean? Basically, what people call gods, it's like that's what we are. But the point is that they're not gods. And Jesus confirmed that he wasn't the one to worship. Karma is cause and effect. It's not some vindictive little thing that everybody deserves what's happening to them and that sort of stuff. God tests us with ease and hardship. Polytheism requires dispute. It requires infinite regresses. Let's just be ourselves. Ourselves in relation to the Creator and the creation, where we can save ourselves through our internal work and our external, real world deeds. These deeds are beyond our mere thoughts, feelings, and emotions. They are not ethics developed over time. They are not principles developed over generations.